how's it going? I'm Marlene. Thanks for wandering by. So, today I have something fun. I'm trying to do lots of fun things to keep my spirits up because things have been tough lately, not just for me, but like I feel like everyone I know is going through something. So, I plan to do this earlier in the year, but we're still early enough in the year. It's only beginning of February. And you'll have seen from the title or the thumbnail that this is 25 in 25. So, again, I borrowed this idea from the BookTube community. And I have a book one, but I want to focus on the tarot only right now. These are the 25 decks that I want to try to make sure I use in some capacity this year in 2025. And there's different reasons why. I can't go and show you all the cards or even like a few cards from each deck because I have like a pile, like a pile here of 25 decks. Um, and I went through my collection. Um, well, what was I saying? I wasn't going to show you all of them because I have a huge pile of 25 decks and we would be here forever if I did that. So, what we're going to do, sorry, I'm rolling around here. What we're going to do is I'm going to just pick up one of these 25 decks and talk about it briefly and try in just a few sentences tell you why it is that I want to make sure that I get to this deck this year in 2025. So, my goal ultimately is not to buy new decks and bring new decks into my collection because I'm at a point where I'm a little bit oversaturated. I definitely need to like pull back financially from spending on this hobby and spiritual practice of mine. So I want to use what I have. So that's the idea. And I I have a spreadsheet of all of my decks, which is definitely over 200. And I picked out 25 of them that called out to me that said, you know, use me. I want you to use me for different reasons. So, without further ado, let me just start picking up these decks and talking about them. And I won't be able, like I said, I'm going to try to resist the urge not to show you cards from them. Otherwise, we're going to be here forever. So, first up, The Deck of the Odd by, oh my gosh, I don't have my glasses on. I need to get my glasses. We need the eyes or we can't read things. A hand cut tarot deck and guidebook. I forget who this is by. Oh, Sarah Wittberg. So this is an indie deck and I've had it for some time. And honestly, I think I got it when I got a bunch of other indie decks and I haven't I've shown it off on the channel, but I haven't really used it. So it's a collage deck. It's really cool. It's very odd. It's funky. And I want to spend more time with it. So that's the deck of the odd. Okay. And I'm like putting things over here on this side. All right, let me grab one of these. So in this bag is the Voyager Tarot. I'll just grab the guidebook. So the Voyager Tarot is like the grandfather of collage decks. Like this, I feel like is one of the very first tarot collage decks. I've had this for a while. I've seen it like tons and tons and tons around. I've had it for a while. I've used it a handful of times and I feel like I need to give it its due. It's in this cool Peggy bag, like it matches, the color matches it. Um, yeah, I need to give this deck its due time. I want to get to it. It has like such cool different renaming for the suits and the court cards and I just feel like I owe it to like tarot history and to my, tarot shelves to work with this because it's just been sitting there and I haven't yet gotten to the Voyager Tarot. Okay. Next up, okay, the Dinosaurs Tarot de Marseille. So this is another indie deck. So Voyager was, I'm gonna try to tell you what's mass market and what's indie, but Dinosaur Tarot, Le Dinosaurs, Dinosaures de Marseille. It's one of like just a couple of Marseille decks that I have, and I haven't used it. I mean, it's literally I will show you one of these because they're just so cute. It's literally dinosaurs on, in a tarot deck. Dinosaur Marseille. It's the cutest thing ever. And I love dinosaurs. And I haven't studied Marseille, but I don't think that that means that I can't use this deck. I want to get to this deck in 2025. I want to get into Marseille a little bit. And it's just, it's so cute. It's so, yeah, we're going to get to it. We're going to get to her. Next. Oh, here's a newer deck in my collection that I've shown recently. This is the Tarot of the Crystal Worlds, and it came with this cool deck. This is an Australian indie deck that I thought was going to be out of print forever, but it came back into print. It's got this like cowboy, rustic, weird, kind of very graphic novel, but more maybe more comic book than graphic novel feel. It reminds me of the Gunslinger. It's brand new to me. Probably is this the newest deck I got that I purchased? And I can't wait to get to it. I definitely wanted to put this on the list. Some of these are going to be easy because these are decks that I just really want to get to. So that was the Tarot of the Crystal World. Next, let me grab this guy. Okay, the She-Wolf Tarot. This is a banged up copy. This is a used copy I got. The She-Wolf Tarot is I'll show you the back because then you can see some of the cards here. So this is, what edition was this? It doesn't even say. Probably somewhere inside it says. This is an older edition of the She-Wolf Tarot. This is a Thoth-based indie deck. It is modern. It is pink. It is bizarre. It is definitely going its own way. It's very vibes, vibes heavy. And I've used it, but I really feel like I haven't spent time with it. And a lot of these decks, a lot of them, not all of them, but many of them are thought inspired decks that I haven't like really spent a lot of time with. And that's one of the reasons that I want to get into the She Wolf Tarot. I think it's right up my alley, except I'm not sure if sometimes I feel like it's too young for me in some way. But yeah, the She Wolf Tarot, it's like what, a modern classic now. Like, are we saying that because like decks that have only been out for a couple of years are going out of print, like the Spacious Tarot is going out of print. Spoiler alert, it's not, Spacious Tarot is not in this list. So She Wolf Tarot, want to get to that one. All right, the pile on this side is starting to teeter. How many have I gone through already? One, two, three, four, five. 20 more to go. Yay. Okay, let's do it. So, next on this list is okay, in this bag, I guess I have to show this one, maybe just a couple of them. This is the Animal Totem Tarot. And I know the title I always get like feedback because it's not the best title. Um, but it's an animal deck, and I freaking love this deck. I don't love the guidebook as much, but I really do love this deck. And I don't want to like not use my animal decks. I feel like I've not used them enough. Like I've used them like in particular when I'm doing like specific things for animal gnosis, or when I'm um I don't know, when I'm like just like intentionally pulling cards instead of using it as a tarot. And I want to get away from that. And this is a really good Llewellyn. It's a Llewellyn mass market deck. And I haven't used it enough. I want to get to it. I want to spend more time with it this year. The Animal Totem Tarot, which you can't see because it's in this bag, but it's the Animal Totem Tarot. All right. Ooh, in that vein, let's talk about another animal deck. This is an indie deck called the Anima Mundi Tarot. I don't know if that's weird when I get too close to the camera. I think I did that a lot in my first videos. Anyway, I'm a little bit hyper, can you tell? But the Anima Mundi Tarot. So this deck is an indie deck, but it's been around for a while. And I've had it for a while too. And I feel like the same thing happens with the Anima Mundi that happens with some of my other animal tarots is that, well, I've used the Animal Wise. That's my favorite. Oops. That's my favorite of my animal decks. But I feel like what I end up doing is using my animal tarot for other things, not tarot readings. And that's fine. But I think I want to get to know this deck more as a tarot. And I want to try to get to it this year. Let's see if we get to it. I want to try to get to it this year. I'm already feeling like there's some in here that like I just want to pull out right now. Like I'm feeling like I want the She-Wolf Tarot out and about. Okay, let's do this one. So, the Solera Occulto Meliora Tarot. This was my very first Kickstarter, and I've not done very many Kickstarters. Two? Two, and this was one of them. So, the Solara Occulto, I actually wish that I could somehow get like the first edition. Not that I don't love, I love everything about this deck, but the cardstock I think is what keeps me like not opening this up and using it, because it's just so difficult for me to shuffle. I have to break the deck into two to in order to shuffle it at all, and it's just a big honkin' deck. I do really like all of the because it comes with your 78 tarot cards, and then it has a bunch of like random oracle cards that's like not enough to be on its own really an oracle. I put it together with some of the cards from the Crimson Asteria by the same creator to kind of make like one big oracle. But this is like a beautiful fall deck. Like it's good for those like I mean for me fall whatever, you know. Like I don't have seasons where I live. I think I say this all the time, but it's like it's those like warm browns and gold colors and like it's just, you know, I mean I kind of like that kind of aesthetic. And it's just weird. I really like the artwork, but I haven't used this but like twice maybe. And like I mean this is my first Kickstarter and I've not really used this deck. Like what's happening there? I need to get to it. I want to get to it this year. So that's the Solara Occulto Meliora. Let me see. Let's put this over here because that's a big box. Okay, another let's see. Let's go. Let me show you an I'm sorry, a mass market deck, a couple mass market decks that I want to get to. So, the Heindel Tarot. I need, I keep telling myself that I will get to this deck when I get the guidebooks. There's two written by Rachel Pollack. And I haven't gotten those yet. And I feel like maybe I'm missing something, but I've tried to use this deck on occasion and it hasn't worked out. I bet I have more things to say about it in my like deck collection and declutter. I think I was going to declutter this deck. I'm pretty sure I was going to declutter this and I was going to, you know, move it on, rehome it, get rid of it, whatever term you want to use for moving decks along. Um, and I haven't because it's a Thoth deck, you know, Thoth inspired, but it kind of does lots of other stuff. And the guidebooks were written by Rachel Pollack. So I think I want to give it a chance. I want to get to it. It seems like it's like the right kind of weird deck for me. And I like weird, you know, we've established that I think about me. So the Heindel Tarot, definitely want to get to it in 2025. Okay, oh, let's grab another one. Here's another mass market deck that was gifted to me by a good friend. This is the, oh, and I have it in this cute little bag. This is the Elemental Tarot. This deck is so severely bowed. Poor thing. But that's the backs. I guess I'm showing you a few cards. It's very different. I'm not sure if the astrology matches up with like my astrology um and tarot combinations, but I literally have never used this not once. Not once since I got it. I have not used it. And it seems like such a deck that's up my alley, the Elemental Tarot. It's by the same creators that did the Moon Oracle, the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. Like it's a duo. I'm not sure if they're a married couple, but it's a duo that's done lots and lots of decks. Those decks I've had and have and since rehomed. But this one, I don't know, there's a good, like, meaty guidebook that I think I want to get into. So, and it's just different. And I feel like I'm always looking for that, you know? Okay, next. Oh, another mass market deck that I haven't gone to yet that has sat on my shelves that I haven't used during the Halloween season. The Tarot of Haunted House. I gotta say, the absence of an article there of the haunted house or a haunted house, it makes the English teacher in me like kind of crazy. But like I literally haven't used this deck once. I got it 2 years ago. It's been sitting on my shelf for 2 years, maybe three. Yeah, that's real. 3 years, I think. And I keep saying this Halloween, one more time, this Halloween, and it hasn't happened. So this Halloween in 2025, I aspire, I want to be held accountable for using this deck. I've said it, it's out there. Let's try to do it. I mean, it's supposed to be really good because it follows the story of one character and it's by Sasha Graham. And like I've heard wonderful things about it. I've seen wonderful things about it being used. So I think this is it. This is the year. Okay, another. Do I have more mass market? Oh, yeah. Here's an oldie but a goodie. Okay, the Tarot of the Divine. All right, I have used this deck a lot. In fact, this is one of the first tarot decks that I ever bought. Yeah, after I got like a Rider-Waite Smith, this is a deck. And honestly, this is one of the first decks that I learned on, which I know is weird. Like I meant to do a decks that I recommend for beginners. And like, I feel like so many people wouldn't recommend the Tarot of the Divine as a beginner deck, but this deck is and the reasons that I think people wouldn't recommend it are the reasons why I would, because not everybody learns the same way. And I think because this is a deck that is based on deities, folklore, and fairy tales from around the world. Each card, it's wildly, different depictions from the Rider Waite Smith, your traditional tarot. And I think having a story that you can go look up, read about, learn about, or that you already know from like from knowing fairy tales, which a lot of them I recognize, a lot of them I didn't know, but like just like weaving stories together to understand meaning is a way that people learn, memorize things. Like creating stories around a concept is a way that people learn. And I think for some people that works really well. And for me, it did. Like I can think of the Fool is the Little Mermaid. And my earliest like learning about the Fool and it being attached to the story of the Little Mermaid, it just made things connect. Like I've since learned so many different things about the Fool, but it just made it connect when I was first learning in a way that that stuck with me. And yeah, and so the thing is I want to use this deck in 2025 because I haven't used it in years, like since I was learning, and I want to bring it back into I want to see how it works for me now, now that I'm much further along in understanding tarot and working with the tarot. So yeah, so the Tarot of the Divine, this is a mass market deck that's like, I really think it's a like a modern classic. Like it's one of those that I think that in this like tarot renaissance that we've been in, it's one of these amazing ones from the beginning of that. Like, well, I mean, it's the beginning of my tarot renaissance, but I really do think that we hit like this boom. Okay, another one okay, so now an indie deck. So this is Yonasa Yao's, the seventh edition. I'll just take it out for a little peek so that you can see like the coloring on this one. So this is the one with the it's purple. It's got more purple tones to it. So here are the backs. I have a whole side by side of the Yonasa Yaos and this one and the jumbo. Um, so yeah, that gives you an idea of the coloring. I won't spend too much time. So I I don't know why I haven't really used this deck. And I don't know if it's because of its connection to Marseille or if it's because I really preferred or was just more interested in using the Stunning Tarot, which I got at the same time as this one by Yonasa Yaos. But like these decks, some of these decks are like these indie decks or like a big investment. And I feel like why haven't I given them the chance? And it's not because I don't know, whatever reason. I think I've kept them for a reason. I think it's time for me to explore that, um, explore that and use it. And I want to use the Yanasa Yaos in 2025. Okay, I'm starting to like lose steam. Let's talk about another mass market deck. Liberty, Tarot of Stars Eternal. This has Deccan depictions on it, and it's a Thoth inspired deck. And I bought it months ago, and I haven't really used it yet. So I really want to get to this. It's so cool. It has like Deccan Deccan depictions that I believe come from like the Picatrix or something like that. I think I'd have to reread the like explanation of it again, but I haven't used it and we need to get to this. Liberty, I definitely want to use. I feel like this is a deck that I'll just like toss in my bag and just have with me and try to use like often. Let's see another one. Oh, here's a really special one that I want to get to this year as well. This is a Fool for Tarot that was created by my buddy at Rumor Haven. And Rumor sent it to me and I'm gonna take out a couple of them. So this is a deck inspired by Spike, the character from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And she also wrote a guidebook that is poetry. And I'm so excited to use this deck. I love the aesthetic, even though I'm not like anywhere near as huge of a Buffy fan as my buddy Rumor is. But I feel like this is going to be a really exciting, usable deck. And then the court, I mean, not the courts, the minors are all pips, but they're like arranged in like in certain ways. Like look at that, seven of spikes. It's so clever. She's so clever. And I know that this was a complete labor of love that she created. And I haven't even, that was like my first time even opening this deck because she sent it to me. Then my life like, blew up around me. Everything was crazy. So like now I can actually finally get to it. Definitely going to be playing with that deck in 2025. Okay, sorry. Hair's doing crazy things. Oh, here's another deck that has sat on my shelf for the longest time and just not getting love and use. And this is the Tarot of the She. It's a fairy deck. Folks love this deck. Folks swear by this deck. I've used it. Speaking of poetry too, there's poetry in the guidebook, like the minors, I think, or is it every single card has a poem that goes along with it? I mean, oh, I've got another one like that here too. Anyway, so I feel like I'm kind of like, oof. All right, but the Tarot of the She, like this deck I need to get to. It's been sitting on my shelf. I've used it a handful of times. It needs to see the light of day. It needs to see the light of day, the Tarot of the She. Okay, piles are starting to get on this side. So we have, how many do we have left? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. Okay, we have nine left. That means we've done 11. Let's see. Okay, here's another mass market deck that I want to get to. And this was on the chopping block for me in my deck collection and declutter. This is the Primordial Tarot. This is a bizarro deck. Like it is, like I don't know, is it tarot? Is it tarot? Is it not tarot? It really does. Sorry, my mouse, the computer keeps getting whatever. Anyway, it really does something different. The it's but the artwork is so compelling in this deck for me that I feel like I just want to give it more time, and I want to commit to giving it more time this year. It is, I mean, I've shown it off on this channel before. The artwork is just like, it's stunning, and we're going to play with it. That's the idea. We're going to get to you, Primordial Tarot, this year in 2025. Okay. Um this guy. This, I believe, is out of print, but this is the Fantastical Tarot. This is by Natalie Hertz. I'm not said the name of all the creators, sorry. But this is the same creator as the Fairy Tarot, which I've definitely used more. This deck, I said that I think I needed to mod it in order for me to use it, and I did mod it. I did like edge it in blue to match the backs. This deck is so cool. Every time I look at it when I'm not reading with it, I really love it. And I need to just like use it. I just need to use it. I mean, I bought it secondhand, so it was a little beat up. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to mod it, because the sides were just like icky. I thought about doing like a micro trim, but the edging did okay. Like, this is just a freaking cool deck that I want to get to work. I want to work with at some point this year. Okay, next. I've talked about this very recently. The Alchemical Tarot, another indie deck. This is a my only Robert M. Place deck. I did want to study alchemy. This is another one like the Handle Tarot that I wanted to get the big book, and I didn't want to start using it until I got the big book, but I think I want to just use it. Let's use it. We're going to get it out. This deck is stunning. And I think I can just get over myself about having to learn alchemy and just use it. Just use it like a tarot, the Alchemical Tarot. And this is the revised sixth edition. I think they might be on to the next edition by now. Okay, we're almost there. I think, are all the rest of these indie decks? No, they're not. Um, this one. Okay, in this Peggy bag is the Tarot of the Crone. And this deck was gifted to me. This was like a unicorn deck for me. And I think what happened, so the Tarot of the Crone by Ellen Lorenzi Prince, she's got, several other decks that are much beloved in the community. The Tarot of the Crone is out of print. There's been lots of rumors that it's going to come out mass market. Not sure if that's happening. But I think that this is like one of those cases where it feels like it's too special. This deck is too special, and I haven't used it because it's too special, and I want to only use it for like special occasions when I'm like working with goddess energy and stuff. And I think I need to get over myself and just use it because it's a deck that had been wanting for so long, and then I just really wasn't using it. Also, speaking of which, there's poetry in the guidebook here for this one too. Speaking of which, this is the last, I think, mass market deck that I have in here. Um, and this is, oh man, look at this Krista bag. Isn't it so cute? This is the Tarot of the Hidden Realm. And I kind of like the Tarot of the Divine. This is, I can't think of the name of the creator now. Sorry, forgive me. I edged this in silver. But you know this deck. It's a fairy deck, but it's really a very peoply portrait deck. Like, you've seen it. You've seen it. And you've seen the Witch Sister one, which is her other deck. That really was everywhere last year in 2024, which is great. It was beautiful. But this deck I've had sitting since like when I first started working, with tarot, and I haven't used it since. But I know another thing is that like I love this guidebook. I love it's written very narrative, almost poetic. Is it, it's not really, yeah, a little bit poetic, I think, or it's narrative. It's like story. It's so good. And I haven't used it in a long, long time. And I know I love it, so I want to get it back. I want to get it back into my working decks. I want to just want to use it this year in 2025. Just want to use it. So that's the Tarot of the Hidden Realm. This is the Dang Olson Dream Tarot. This is brand new to me. Last, like, end of last year I got it when they did the reprint. This is super psychedelic. Here, I'll let you see the back. I'm not going to get out a bunch of cards for this one either. Very psychedelic, really cool, very out there. So like artwork style that I really love. It makes me think of Keith Haring, and just stuff that I absolutely adore. And I cannot wait to use this. This was an easy one to put on this list because I know I'm going to be using this deck soon, soon, because I can't wait to use it. Two more. Okay, well, kind of same in that vein. This is the Apparition Tarot, a Spirit Speak tarot deck. This is another indie deck. Here's some of the examples of it on the back. This deck has been around, what, 2018? I've had it for a while, and for some reason, I just like I pull it out to use it, and then I don't use it. You know, and I know I like it. I know I really like it. So I just want to make sure that it is one of the 20, like 25 and 25, one of the decks that I use this year, the Apparition Tarot Spirit Speak. Okay. Last two. I didn't like plan how I was going to do this because it's just all here. Um, the Jupiter Power Tarot. I've talked about this one. I feel like I've talked about this recently. The Mars Power Tarot I've used significantly more by the same creator. This one is this like green flower energy. It's very weird. It's all vibes. I mean, it really is all vibes. It's all atmospheric. It's not, I mean, there's scenes, but it's not like scenes that you would expect. You have to just feel the card and like with your intuition, like absorb the artwork as you want, like take it. I don't know. It's its own kind of weird, bizarro thing, which is very much in the flavor of this creator, and I want that in my life. That's why I bought it. I just haven't used this deck very much at all, maybe like a handful of times. So I definitely want to use this deck in 2025, the Jupiter Power Tarot. And lastly, I love this deck. Like every time I think about this deck, this last one, I haven't put on the camera yet. I love this deck. Of the two decks that I have by this creator, this one is the one that I love the most, but I haven't used it, which is weird. This is also a Thoth inspired deck. This is the Intuitive Tarot by Scylla Conway. This deck has been around for a long time. This version is the newer version. There's an older vintage version of it that I would like love to get my hands on, kind of like as a collector thing more than anything. But I have not used this deck nearly as much as I want to. It's one of those decks that I'm like, I think about this deck all the time, but I'm not using it. um, yeah. And I just like, I love the sphere, the little oval, that kind of gives you that like peek into the artwork. It's just a beautiful, moody deck, like super moody. And I love a moody deck. I really do. So, whew, I can take a breath now because that's it. Those are the 25 in 25 decks. 25 and 25. I did it. I sped through it. We got it in 30, a little over 30 minutes. I'm not going to edit this. That's it. That's 25 decks in 2025 that I would like to use for all the various different reasons that I said. I was wildly talking fast. I think for me, that was talking fast, getting through it. Yeah, I really want to pay attention to the decks that I already have in my collection, and I want to make time for them. At the end of the year, well, I have a list, right? So I have these all written down in my notebook, and we'll check them off as we go and see which ones, and I'll hold myself accountable at the end of the year. If you're still with me, you'll get to see which ones I actually did use or didn't. Fun, 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 fun. I think I'm already gonna grab the She Wolf Tarot out of this group and use it because I'm kind of feeling like I want her. I want the She Wolf Tarot. I want something like, you know, pink and empowering and like badass, and we'll see. And weird, weird and thoughty. So that's the recipe that I'm cooking up right now. Um, Thank you guys so much for sticking with me. I hope that you enjoyed that. Let me know if you have something like that going on too. Do you have particular decks that you want to do, that you want to make sure that you work with? Are you trying to like not bring anything new? Are you trying to like, you know, move through your collection of decks that you already have? Let me know if you want to do 25 and 25 as well. This was strictly tarot. I don't think I'm going to do this for oracle, but you do you, and let me know what you've got going on as well. Again, thank you so much for sticking with me. I do hope that you enjoyed that, and I hope that you all have a beautiful, wonderful day. Bye.